Rich and Felicia in this last episode. So we see Felicia and she goes out to dinner with some of her homegirls and her cousin who's been to prison before. And they're all sitting there talking about Rich and they want the tea on Rich. And Felicia's like, well, pretty much I found out that he's still married because I keep asking him to show his divorce papers, and every time she asks him, he just gets all upset. So that's a red flag right there, because if you're divorced, why not just show the divorce papers? But I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like Felicia is just looking for any reason to get out of the relationship and not look like the bad guy. So she's just looking for any little thing to poke holes in. Like, yes, it's out of pocket that Rich lied to her about being divorced when he may potentially not be, but I don't think that it's fair for her to make such a big deal about the fact he's been arrested. She's sitting there at dinner, and I guess her aunt, I think it's her aunt, was scrolling trying to see if Rich was married online, and she ends up coming across his mugshot and the fact that he was arrested in 2025. He ended up getting arrested for marijuana possession because he's from Texas, where it's not legal yet. And for me, that's not a really big deal. It's not like he was caught with ounces or anything. It was just some personal marijuana. It wasn't legal in his state. And I really feel like Felicia has no room to talk. I mean, girl, you just did 9 years in prison after you robbed somebody and hit a lick. And your parents didn't even come see you because they had warrants while you were in prison this whole time. And her cousin, who has so much to say, she's always the one trying to convince Felicia that she just needs to leave Rich. She was in federal prison, just like I think Felicia was in federal prison, wasn't she? But she did damn near just as much time as Felicia. So it's like, I really feel like she has no room to talk either over this man who got caught with a little bit of weed. And then Felicia said that she is starting to think that Rich might be up to something, because apparently after she confronted him over asking him about the divorce papers, he got all mad and he just started ghosting her, and he wasn't answering her phone calls anymore, probably because he didn't have the divorce papers and he knew she was going to continue asking for them. So he just probably felt backed in a corner and was like, okay, let me just chill out for a little bit, maybe she might move on. That's what I think he was probably doing. But she's thinking, like, what is he doing? Like, if I was in her shoes, I don't blame her. I'd probably be thinking, damn, like, maybe he's still in an active marriage. I mean, we just heard Michael reveal when I interviewed him a few days ago, he revealed that Kaylee was living with her ex-husband up until a month before Michael got out. And this was after her and Michael already got married and he had no idea. So who's to say that Rich is sitting here trying to act like he's divorced and he may be back at home still living with his wife, playing house with his wife? Maybe that's why there's no divorce papers. So Felicia wants to know what the tea is. So she asked her cousin and her homegirls to travel to Texas with her to go pop up on Rich. And I get, like, not wanting to go by yourself, but I don't think she needed to bring the whole gang with her to pull up on Rich. Maybe she should have just brought, like, one friend or maybe her cousin. She brought all these girls. Like, there was a good, like, 6-8 girls, it seemed like, with her that ended up pulling up on Rich, and she ends up driving all the way out to Texas, and we're going to see her confront Rich and ask Rich what's going on. And it kind of seems like he gets pissed off that she just popped in on him. They did show where she did call him and she's like, hey, can I come see you? And he's like, well, I'm going to be training. I wonder what he's training for, because I noticed that he has been training a lot, literally all day, every day on his Instagram. He's constantly posting pictures of himself going on these long runs through, like, mountains and at different parks, and he'll be running for miles, and he's wearing, like, all these weights and stuff strapped to him. So he's really getting a good workout, and he's doing this on the daily. So I'm very curious, like, is he training for, like, a boxing match, or what is he training for? But I would be suspicious if that was Felicia. Like, I just got out, you've been waiting on my release this whole time, and I'm offering to come pull up on you in Texas, and you're making excuses. Like, it'd be one thing if he's like, yeah, I gotta train, so I may not be able to do it the whole time, but yeah, I can definitely make time for you. But the fact he's, like, being so dismissive with her and making it sound like he's too busy for her, yeah, that is definitely suspect. Do you guys remember when I first started covering Felicia and I was like, man, she just gives me the vibes of one of those girlies who was hooking up with girls in prison. Like, I don't know, I feel like I have a pretty good gaydar. And I suspected that, and she ended up posting on Instagram a few weeks ago this post. I thought I screenshot it, but now I can't find it, where she said, oh yeah, he may think I'm looking at him, but really I'm looking at his girl. And she was like pretty much just talking about how she's into females. And I kind of just got a feeling that now that she's out of prison, she's starting to realize that Rich is trying to get in the way of her and her having multiple sugar daddies. And I think she just wants to have her freedom. She wants to live her best single life. She wants to have fun with some women. She wants to be able to go out and use guys for money and just pretty much do what she wants in peace without somebody on her ass at all times. And that's why I feel like people who have long sentences need to take a step back and sometimes really think, is a relationship really what I want when I get out? And I don't think Felicia's ready to be tied down just yet. I think she's looking for any reason now to get out of this whole relationship with Rich, and she's just trying to not look like the bad guy at the end of the day. And she did reveal on a live the other day, you know that network that Zaria and Troy and Deontay are all filming for, the Making Magic network? I guess Felicia's gonna be on that network. They have to wait a year until after they're on Love After Lockup as part of their contracts, so I'm not sure when her year is up. I feel like it should be getting close, but as soon as that's over with, she's supposed to be beginning filming with them, which I'm very curious, like, what she's gonna film. Is she gonna film, like, it seems like most of her life now is like her going out to the clubs and her going out with her girls and her going to college. She was live with Deontay on TikTok the other day, which makes sense since they're going to be on the same network here soon once her contract does expire with Love After Lockup. Or it's like a non-compete for like a year. You can't get on any kind of like competing networks. But yeah, she did confirm that her and Rich are no longer together. And at first she was answering a few questions about Rich, but now she's getting kind of annoyed when people ask about Rich, and she says she doesn't want to talk about him anymore. I mean, but it's kind of hard to avoid that question altogether, especially like when so many people know her from the show. But yeah, they are no longer together, which I'm sure that's no surprise to anybody. But you guys let me know what you think about everything in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.